Hello, this is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com. This video is for Drazen in Virginia, and this is a 99 S500 Grand Edition door locking pump. It's the same as on 99, 98 models. This is a rare pump. So Drazen, so now the first thing is, let's take a look at the motor. Let's see what we see. If you look inside, you clearly see windings are burnt. I explain you why. I don't know if camera picks it up, but those windings in there, they're burnt. They're supposed to be nicely shiny copper, but they're all black, so they overheated badly. Although brushes are still intact, but windings overheated, so no wonder you blew fuses, because this is basically was seasoned up, this motor. It still spins, but there was so much of consumption. There are shorts somewhere in windings, I'm sure. But it does spin, but again, when you put power to it, it actually barely moves. Now let's see if I can show you. I mean, no question about it. Okay, so it's not even spinning. Now it's just like shorts out my power supply. If you look, you see the light overload on the right. Oh. So, trying to make this video with one hand, so it's not easy. Well, you see overload light when I connect the motor to my power supply. It just dies out. There. So you see the motor connects to my power supply. Overload comes on, voltage drops. Now it's back on. So clearly there was a problem. Actually, it spun when I first got it. It spun. Now it's seasoned. Well, now it's seasoned up. So it's dead by any means necessary. Now the problem with this is there's an internal leak inside the pump. On lumbars and on vacuum, there is a little switch over valve in there that it leaks. So I'm not going there, I'm not changing it. I just deactivated both circuits because you don't really need it. The lumbars with 20-something-year-old car obviously will be at question, because they will definitely have some leaks, and that's what burns pumps out in the first place. And the vacuum circuit, you have vacuum storage tank. That vacuum storage tank is going to it's going to pump enough vacuum and keep it there, so you're not going to have interrupted HVAC system when you accelerate to the floor. So right now the pump is connected and ignition is on. We're just going to test few functions here, obviously door locks and unlocks. For that we need to, well, let's check with TK. That's if I remember correctly, that would be our fuel filler cap door. All right, so pressure, not TK. No, you know what, we're gonna check it on the trunk. I usually do on the trunk. I don't know why I went TK. This is our vacuum. This is our pressure. So the reason why it's connected like this is because there are 4 pipes, so they supposed to work in tandem. So there's switch over from these 2 hoses to these 2 hoses, so that's why I have to. Well, anyway, long story short, it works. Okay. See when see if I just like well, anyway, this, I don't want to go make this video 20 minutes long. It's already been at 5 minutes. So we got lock unlock works fine. There is very bizarre kind of like algorithm of these pipes, and it's just that it works fine. Don't worry about that. We should be good to go. Now let's do doors. Lock and unlock, you see pressure and vacuum very nice and high. Very good. It's lock and unlock. But I'm doing on a door circuit now. We have pressure. That's unlock. And it releases the pressure. The trunk, the fuel filler cap works a little differently. It's very bizarre kind of situation, because if you hit the button once, it unlocks the fuel filler and trunk. I think only fuel filler, actually fuel filler and driver's door, you hit it 2 times, it unlocks the rest of the doors and the fuel filler. See, that's pressure, that's to I believe to open it, and vacuum is off on the fuel filler, so the locking is, well, anyway, like I said, it's a very strange algorithm, and I never really spend my time to figure this out. I don't need to. Now let's do a remote trunk release. For that, I'm going to block off all of the door locking circuits right here. So we got a remote trunk release. There we go. That was pressure to pop the trunk. Okay. Once more. And again, if I'm going to disconnect this gauge, you'll see that I want to show you the pressure is coming out. So, remote trunk release once more. As you can see, once I connected the circuit, then it shut off. Internal valve flipped and shut off. Now, another thing that is still connected here is rear headrest and stuff. That's vacuum. So it's there, but you don't have that feature on S500 because you're supposed to have electric rear headrest. So that's that. And the handle for the trunk, vacuum to pull handle in. I'm sorry. This is vacuum. This is to pull handle in, pressure to push handle out when activated. So this is to push handle out, so it's extended outwards from the trunk lid. And vacuum is to pull handle back into the trunk lid, the rear handle on the trunk. So I'm perfectly fine with this pump, comfortable with it now. Everything should be just fine. There should be no more burning of these motors, because that was caused by internal problem. I put a little heat shrink wrap. I changed the hose because these hoses you have to replace. This is nice rubber hose, and I've been running the motor and I can still touch it with my hand. That means it's not overheating, so all my torque specs were correct, and all the alignment inside, vanes and everything are also correct. It's very important to align them properly, otherwise it's going to overheat and it's going to burn out. You don't want that. So I'm fine with it, and that's it. Basically the pump is ready to go. Gonna put it back together and off it goes, and we should be fine. You should be just finally have your door locks working, at the condition that all the vacuum pods and doors are good. But because you were blowing the fuses, then you couldn't even test them properly because the pump was not working. And even if 1 or 2 leak a little bit, it should be still okay, because the pump creates a lot of pressure, a lot of vacuum. So even with small leak, like I had in my car, both door actuators were leaking slowly. And right now one is leaking in the trunk, but it still works fine. It just takes a little longer to lock. But unlocking is fine, because actually unlock is longer because it's the pressure, it opens up the leak, vacuum closes down the leak a little bit. So unlock works a little slower, but still works fine. And it's been like that for 6 months already. I don't know. I'm just lazy to change it. Okay, so this is it. This is Victor at RestoreMercedes.com. Thank you for watching.